Good afternoon. Thank you again to our media partners for helping us keep Calgarians informed. Today you are here with another update on the critical water main break. Joining us for today's update is Mayor Jody Gondek, Calgary Emergency Management Agency Chief Sue Henry, General Manager of Infrastructure Services Michael Thompson, and Director of Capital Priorities and Investment Francois Bouchard. We'll hear their update and then there will be an opportunity to ask questions after. Please identify which media outlet you are with and keep your questions limited to one question and one follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oki, Dadanastada, Ambawastich, Tanse, and good day, everyone. I've been starting my remarks with these greetings in Indigenous languages to honor the Treaty 7 peoples who stewarded these lands and these waters at the confluence of the Bow and Elbow rivers for so many generations before many of us came to settle here. Today is a very big day for the more than 1/3 of Alberta's population that lives here in Calgary and the surrounding communities of Airdrie, Chestermere, Strathmore, and Tsuut'ina Nation. All of you rely on the City of Calgary to provide safe drinking water to your homes, water to wash your dishes, to do your laundry, and so much more. Today, I am pleased to let you know that we are one giant step closer to restoring full water usage to all of you. I'm incredibly pleased to share that indoor water use can now return to regular, back to normal. And we look forward to slowly restoring full outdoor use as we continue to monitor the system's stabilization process. So to clarify, indoors you can use your water as you regularly would, but outdoor water restrictions are still in place. And a quick overview to let you know what changed between yesterday and today. First, we had 3 crews working all day yesterday to ensure that we could tackle turbidity that you saw in the water. That's the cloudiness that some of you were seeing in some of your communities. Turbidity levels are going down and they're trending in the right direction. Next, with production safely increasing at the Bears Paw water treatment facility, we're able to perform some critical maintenance and chemical processes at the Glenmore water treatment plant. And last, the Bears Paw feeder main has been brought up to 50% capacity, and we continue to stabilize the system by listening for irregularities and measuring any pressure changes. So that's what changed between yesterday and today. Now, I think it's incredibly important to focus on what we have accomplished together in the last 26 days. We understood that we needed to reduce our water usage, and we acted quickly and steadily. We also knew that we needed to band together to ensure that water could reach all of our homes and our businesses. And we made sure that emergency services and life-saving operations were able to access the water that they needed. We're also stronger together because we engaged with the private sector and the provincial government in our response. Partnerships made all the difference in responding to this situation quickly and safely. Many Calgarians made sacrifices over these last 26 days, but we know this crisis affected some people and industries differently. My thanks to the athletes who gave up their training sessions in the pool or on the ice, and the recreation partners and their teams who had to adjust quickly in terms of their operations. I'd also like to acknowledge that landscapers and construction companies and businesses at the repair sites in Bowness and Montgomery were disrupted by the water conservation measures, as well as the traffic changes that we had to put into place. And to the hotels, restaurants, and brewers and their customers who made adjustments, thank you so much for all of your efforts. You have been incredible people throughout all of this, and you have my sincere gratitude for everything that you have done. Every action you took absolutely mattered and got us to this point. In addition to all of you who have been such great people in Calgary and the surrounding region, there are many people within the City of Calgary that deserve thanks for their roles in publicly dealing with this water emergency. The entire water team who is still on the job and will keep going 24/7 until we are out of the woods. We really appreciate everything you continue to do. The folks who comprise the engineering teams and the repair crews. And within this, there were also so many contractors and private sector partners. the folks who provided updates throughout the last 26 days, including Deputy Chief Kobe Dewar, Nancy Mackay, Francois Bouchard, Chris Houston, Dr. Franco Rizzuti, as well as Calgary Fire Department Chief Steve Dongworth and Acting Chief Deb Bergeson. Our bylaw chief, Ryan Plakaitis, Nicole Newton, and Jen McCarr. These are all folks that were up here providing updates as they were coming in. And a shout out to the work of the communications and media relations teams who got messaging out to all of us as quickly and comprehensively as possible and kept the website updated so that all of us knew what was happening. My team in the mayor's office and my colleagues on city council and their teams, thank you for all of the work that you have been doing behind the scenes. To CAO Duckworth and the entire executive leadership team, we're grateful for your support. And I know that there are people that I've probably missed, and I apologize for that, but you have all done tremendous work. And before I turn things over to Chief Sue Henry, I want to recognize the leadership of General Manager Michael Thompson as well as Chief Sue Henry. Michael Thompson stepped up to be the lead in making sure that this repair got done quickly, efficiently, and safely. He has probably not slept much, and I know he has been on the phone around the clock to anyone and everyone who could help us out in this situation. And Michael, I want to thank you for that. Chief Sue Henry. Chief's job is to make sure that anytime we have an emergency, that her team springs into action and manages things with professionalism and compassion and great expertise. This was no exception. If it wasn't for the leadership of Chief Sue Henry, this would not have been as smooth as it was. So thank you so much, Chief. And with that, I will call you up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. As you've already heard, I share my excitement with everyone else with the news of lifting indoor water conservation efforts for both residents and businesses. You will no longer be asked to take extra measures to conserve water indoors. This easing of indoor water reduction efforts means that in addition to returning to normal or regular water usage inside our homes, businesses can also return to normal, and this includes car washes and indoor pools, which had been previously asked to close. We would like to thank the many businesses who found creative ways to support water conservation while we went through this together. The lifting of indoor water conservation measures doesn't mean everyone should take a shower, flush all the toilets, do all the laundry, and wash their vehicles all at the same time. Help us return to normal by running laundry and dishwashers a bit at a time as full loads so we don't overwork the system. Let's ease back into this together. Our system is operating at about 50% capacity at the moment while we continue to stabilize. So outdoor restrictions, stage 4 watering restrictions remain in place for residents and businesses, as well as we continue to have a fire ban. We are in the process of bringing back the city services, which includes pools, ice rinks, and rec centers, so we can get everything back online as quickly as possible. The majority of city indoor pools will open tomorrow, and the focus will be on our main pools and the dive tanks first. Showers in city facilities are open today. Swimming lessons will resume tomorrow, July 3rd, and all customers will be receiving an email from the city with this confirmation. Arenas will be open at 4 p.m. today. Calgary.ca will continue to have the most updated information, and we encourage you to continue to use that to get the latest updates. We are gradually flowing water from the Bearspaw Water Treatment Plant through the feeder main and into the rest of the water system as we continue to slowly stabilize our system. Our calculations show that we are confident the system is ready to return to normal or regular indoor water usage. Our water quality continues to be safe to drink, meeting and exceeding our water quality standards. We would like to thank all the crews who have worked around the clock since June 5th on this repair. Your tireless efforts, diligence, and ingenuity helped us get to the finish line, and for that we are grateful. And thank you to all Calgarians for respecting the work of these crews and helping conserve water for the past few weeks for the safety of others and to protect our water services and supply. You also displayed the same ingenuity, patience, and diligence in your water conservation efforts. We thank you. Our system was tested with some hot days and several significant fires, and I'm proud to say that we were able to avoid any further issues. Thank you to your cooperation. While we are confident that we can currently supply enough water for indoor use, we are keeping stage 4 outdoor water restrictions in place as the system continues to stabilize. We will carefully monitor supply and demand over the days and weeks to make changes to this outdoor restrictions when we are confident that the system is ready. The state of local emergency remains in place while we take this next step, and we hope to have more information for you later in the week regarding the next steps, regarding spray parks, and regarding street sweeping. Once again, I want to thank all Calgarians, residents, and businesses for your cooperation through this water main break. I will now turn it over to General Manager of Infrastructure Services, Michael Thompson.
Thank you, Chief, and good afternoon, everyone. As announced at 10:30 a.m. today by Mayor Gondek, we are now able to ease indoor water saving measures. This is an exciting milestone after almost a month of practicing water conservation indoors. Just as we're easing into lifting water restrictions, we need Calgarians to ease back into their water use. This means being thoughtful about spreading out your water use needs, like not doing all your waiting laundry in one day today, but instead doing a load a day for the coming days ahead. We continue to monitor the feeder main by listening for breaks and measuring pressure changes, and I'm happy to report that the system is responding well so far and we have not seen or heard any anomalies. And I would like to stress that at this time, outdoor stage 4 water restrictions remain in place. As the mayor said, there are too many people to thank, but I would like to personally acknowledge the work that Director Francois Bouchard and Nancy Mackay have done over the last almost month. They have worked tirelessly to keep safe drinking water flowing for Calgarians and to work to restore this pipe and to restore the system. And so for all of their hard work, I'd like to say thank you. And also to Chief Sue Henry and Deputy Chief Kobe Dewar. I haven't actually been to the Emergency Operations Center before for an emergency, and it was just a pleasure to watch how they organize and assist and lead the city through a crisis like this. And so thank you, Acting or Deputy Chief and Chief, for all of your leadership and the work you've done. And to the teams, as the mayor said, in the field, doing the work, repairing the system, flushing the pipes, in the labs testing the water, the engineers doing the calculations, and all of my colleagues across the city and the executive leadership team and the CAO and COO for all of your support and leadership. Thank you for everything you're doing. And it's been amazing to watch the city come together, to see our colleagues in construction and the oil and gas industry come together and have roundtables with us and share ideas and just be ready to step up whenever there was an issue. Everyone in this city came together, and for that I'd like to say thank you. And now I'd just like to invite Director Bouchard to give you some more details.
Good afternoon. I'm so pleased that we've reached the point in our system stabilization where we're able to ease indoor water saving efforts. As of this morning, we've been able to continue increasing the flows in our system to the point where we are comfortable with Calgarians beginning to use more water. Over the past 24 hours, turbidity has improved and will continue to improve as we stabilize the system. And if anyone is still experiencing cloudiness in their tap water, I want to remind them that this water is safe to drink and the situation will be temporary. Right now, we're leaving stage 4 water restrictions in place. This is for a few reasons. Though the feeder main is operational, it is currently moving about 50% of its water capacity as we continue to stabilize the system. As well, the Glenmore water treatment plant has been working at its maximum level for the past 26 days. Just like a car might need a tune-up after a long road trip, the plant is now due for a tune-up as well. We will be doing some regular maintenance on each of our pumps at the Glenmore water treatment plant, as well as some of the systems that ensure that we have safe, high-quality drinking water. Glenmore will be producing less water while this work is completed. As we see demand levels stabilize and how our system is performing, we will consider changes to the outdoor water restrictions. For now, continue to refrain from outdoor water use. I want to continue thanking Calgarians for their cooperation and sacrifices during the last few weeks. Because of the changes each of you have made, we were able to make the most of a reduced water supply as we completed this critical work. And I'd like to now invite the mayor back to the podium.
Thank you very much, Director Bouchard. So remember, everyone, that while we are back into regular water usage indoors, easing into those multiple loads of laundry and taking that long shower, if you could ease into it, that would be greatly appreciated. Outdoor water restrictions still apply at the stage 4 level, and the fire ban is still on. More information will come to you daily from Chief Henry and the Emergency Operations Center at 2 p.m. until we can stand down this emergency. So stay tuned for those 2 o'clock updates. To all of you watching, you have been incredible people through all of this. I want to express my sincere gratitude for all of you and to all of you, and tell you that I'm very proud of who we are as a city and a community of good human beings. Thank you for everything you've done. With that, let me turn it to Jamie to manage any media questions.
I do have one question. Just really quick, Mayor, when you have it's a new system, and I think when everybody has something new, you're a little cautious about turning it back on full. We know we're going to be inviting a lot of people here in the next couple of days for the Stampede. Is there any concern with, on the back end of this week, with all of a sudden maybe a lot more people coming to the city and then that extra push on the system?
So what we have tracked through data is that while water use does increase in July overall, it's not necessarily during the period of Stampede. In fact, later into July, as temperatures get warmer, it is that warmer temperature that drives up water use, and it's largely outdoor water use. So when it comes to preparing for Stampede coming up, I also want to point out that a lot of people are on vacation right now. So there's a lot of families that take advantage of the first couple of weeks of July to be away, and we are also welcoming in folks from out of town. We'll continue to let them know that we've been through a water situation, and any conservation methods that they can use are greatly appreciated. We are confident, though, that the way we are bringing the system up slowly and cautiously will allow us to go into the weeks and months ahead with confidence.
Throughout this, you have said that you're tracking every expense. And can you give us, well, we recognize that that number will change. It's in flux, all of that. Can you give us a preliminary, like some sort of ballpark where we are at with this?
There's no ballpark available right now. There's no preliminary number available right now. And I will tell you why. Until we have the comprehensive understanding of how much this cost, talking about the numbers at this point would not be useful to anyone. So we don't want to just give you snapshots in time, because the questions will be, well, what did you spend it on? And what was that for? And is there anything remaining? So we want to be able to give you a full picture and be able to tell you how that money was spent.
Does the city have an idea yet of whether insurance will cover any of this? I think we asked a couple of weeks ago. I'm wondering if there's an answer on that yet.
I think Chief may have a slightly better idea, but I can tell you that the legal teams have been looking into this. Do we have any updates?
Not any updates at this time.
Okay, no updates at this time.
Do you have any ballpark idea of how many businesses the city directly contacted over the last few weeks to either shut down or conserve water? Are we talking hundreds of businesses and facilities, or thousands, or do you have an idea?
Director Bouchard can probably give you more specifics, but I know that in early days, there was about 100 businesses that were contacted immediately. That went up to 700 businesses. And from there, there was more business to city contacts. So please go ahead.
So my understanding is that over 7,000 businesses were contacted as part of the effort.
And sorry, was that asking them to shut down completely or just conserve water, or what exactly was that contact with those 7,000?
It was a mixture of conversations depending on whether or not they rely on outdoor water usage, or if we were simply having a conversation on how they might actually participate in our efforts to reduce indoor water consumption.
right now. So right now it's just the indoor pools at this point in the rec centers and such. Can you walk me through what other city services would be impacted by this? I understand splash parks are still going to remain closed with outdoor water restrictions.
That is correct. Splash parks will still remain closed with the outdoor water restrictions that we're currently in, and we're working to bring up our pools and our rec centers, which were most impacted by this indoor water conservation efforts. So those and the arenas will be up in the next 24 hours, and you can look on calgary.ca for the latest information, and a lot of the change rooms and showers are open at this point in time. We do know that some of our other city services were affected, such as street sweeping. More information will come as we refine the different dates, but we do know that they are doing some street sweeping efforts right now with that non-potable water.
Speaking of the non-potable water, I know we have those filling stations across the city. Where do those, as we now lift the restrictions on indoor water use, what is the future of these filling stations as this situation continues?
So the filling stations, there's still 7 filling stations for both commercial and residential folks to go access non-potable water. Those will stay open with the easing of indoor water conservation measures at this point in time. That still is not our outdoor water. So we still need to be able to rely on the rain or rely on these depots to be able to help us keep our gardens healthy and safe. So those, until we see a reduction in restrictions, those will remain open for citizens to access.
Question for Francois. Just in terms of the operation of the water system right now, are we basically back to, water from Bearspaw, water from Glenmore, going to where it normally does, just at a reduced capacity, or is there still more reliance on one plant over another?
So I can't comment in terms of if it is exactly the same. We're coming back to a balance between water being supplied from both of those plants. What we've done is we're reducing the production at Glenmore to ease up and allow that regular maintenance to happen. And at the same time, with the feeder main in operation, we're ramping up the production at Bearspaw. So water is coming from both. I can't tell you if it's exactly the same kind of balance as what we've had historically.
And do you have a time frame for the maintenance at Glenmore? How long will that go on for?
So right now we're looking at a time frame that will be at least until the end of this week. And it depends on, as we work on individual pumps, what kind of maintenance is required.
Okay, just to clarify on that, once that work is complete, then do we have the system available to meet Calgarians' need full capacity?
So no, there's many components, as we've talked about through these last few weeks, in terms of what we need for the system to operate. And we do need to bring the feeder main and bring the flow through that feeder main to a higher level than what we have right now. And that's the work that we're doing as we stabilize. We look at our pump operations and making modifications to those pump operations to slowly bring the flow in that pipe back up.
Sorry, one more. For those, maybe this is for the mayor, for those over 7,000 businesses that were directly impacted by this, what conversations have you had, or what conversations would you be open to having about providing any compensation to those businesses impacted?
So the 7,000 businesses that we contacted have varying degrees of reliance on water. Many of them are heavy water users, others are not. Many were able to accommodate the changes quite easily, and others had some challenges. And I can tell you that our teams at the city who deal with these folks on a regular basis will continue to stay connected with them to find out how this experience was and learn from anything that they have to offer us.
Have you asked the province for money, even though you haven't come up with a total yet? Have you asked the province for support?
Because we don't have a total on the costs, it doesn't make sense to reach out to the province with an ask yet. The province knows that if we need assistance, that I will be calling them, so they're aware, but we don't have a total yet.
Project, do you have any closing remarks?
Closing remarks would be thank you very much to our media partners for getting the messaging out often. If it weren't for you broadcasting this and telling everyone what's going on, it would have been much more difficult to let Calgarians and surrounding communities know what was happening. So thank you for your partnership. It has been great to work with you through this. And again, thank you to everyone in Calgary and the surrounding region for being really good throughout all of this. We appreciate you.